Hey y'all, welcome back to Generation X Nation. As always, thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the channel, who has liked my videos. Please spread the word and share my videos, people. I think I am probably down to my last 22 or 22 people, subscribers that I need to hit 500. You know, on YouTube, if you hit 500, you get monetized. Now, I don't ask you guys for any money. I ain't put no Cash Apps, no Zelles, no Venmos, because I don't want money from you guys. I'd rather YouTube to pay me, okay? But either way, if I get monetized or not, I still enjoy doing the videos. This edition of Hot Topics is all about the girlies, okay? As you guys know, I'm a person of a particular generation and a particular age, so my thought process is a little different. All right. But before we get started, as always, everything's alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Again, it's alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. And every video that I'm using is under the Fair Use Act, Section 107. Okay. I will play the videos a little bit and I will do my commentary. And if I can remember where I got the videos from, I make sure I shout you out and thank you. This first video I got is from Neighborhood Talk, but it's been posted all over social media. This lady is very popular. I've seen her several times talking, giving women advice on dating and men. And this one particularly, most of the time I do agree with her, but this one particularly had me a little bit discouraged because I think we're starting to send the wrong message out to a lot of women, which in my opinion is leading to a lot of women being single out here, especially you young ladies who are trying to get your lives together, start families and careers. I'm not saying the aunties and some of us older women aren't giving you good advice. We don't live in this generation per se on how y'all date and how y'all interact with the opposite sex. Ours was a little different. So I'm not going to tell you the best way to do it, but I will tell you that men usually they're not hard to figure out. It don't matter if they're 32 or 72. If they are real men, they're not that hard to figure out. There are certain things that they want to be happy. There are certain things they want out of their women to be happy, and that's it. Now, I'm not talking about the Ray Rays and the Pookies and these YNs is out here knocking girls side the head and trying to have a race to see who can have the most baby mamas, sleeping with everybody under the sun. We're not talking about those type of guys because their level of maturity has not gotten here yet. We're talking about guys who are ready to settle down and trying to find that particular one for them. All right. Now, with that being said, you women out here y'all are really tripping me out. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. It is all up to interpretation, but some of the stuff I run across is like amazing to me. Okay. I want to warn a lot of young girls. Instant gratification in this generation is a really, really bad character trait. Y'all want stuff instantly. You don't want to wait. You don't want to work for it. You think everything's supposed to fall at your feet. And I'm going to come to a conclusion on this video, and you're going to see when I bring it full circle why I'm saying that. Because it could end up tragic, and you guys may know where I'm alluding to, but I'll let you know. But listen to what this lady had to say. And again, y'all can follow her YouTube page or Instagram page because she is very popular. And at the time, I can't remember her name, but she shows up on my feed a lot. And this video is actually from the Neighborhood Talk. But y'all go ahead and listen, and then I will commentate after this plays.
Here, if you're living with a man and you guys live here, you're living with the provider. If you're living with a man and you guys live here, you're living with the loser. If you're living with a man and you guys live here,
I'm just going to push this up a little bit.
and you guys live here,
Now look how she looks at it twice.
you're living with a loser.
Now look, see, these are the type of videos that teach young women This is all this hot topics is for my girlies. This teach you guys to go out here and try to find this guy who, quote unquote, you can live the soft life. Quote unquote, I'm living a big house in a big mansion. Let me tell you something. Those two houses that she pointed to, somebody may live there for real. And you just basically embarrassed them on TV and made them feel bad about their surroundings. But the bigger caveat to all of this is the people who are living in these houses that she is saying is losers could probably be the happiest couple in the world. You don't know that. Okay? You don't know what's going on behind those doors because happiness cannot be measured. Now, the people in them big mansions, as we all seen what just happened in Tanzania, and some of these other couples y'all done seen over the years that done broke up and got a baby on the side and they didn't know about it. Look at Amy Lucci, whatever, her and Dwight Howard got kicked out the mansion. It may not be happiness going over there in that mansion. Just because the house look big on the outside don't mean that inside there's love and joy and peace going on inside. Okay? So we're not measuring our peace and happiness and well-being and mental health on the size of a house. Do we want to live in these houses in these neighborhoods? No. But there is a way out. That don't mean that you stay there forever. That's could be your starter home. That could just be a house. Hey, this is what we can afford right now. You trying to get your career together. I'm trying to get my career together. We may be in law school. We may be in medical school. You may be trying to get your degree in being a pilot or whatever the case may be. And this is what you can afford based on the city or town that you live in. We know California is more expensive than Tennessee. We know Tennessee don't have state taxes, but they have state taxes in Arkansas. So you don't know what the situation is. All right. And that house right there, even though it may not be much, as your finances increase, you fix that house up, use the equity out of that house to buy you a better house. You can use the equity in that house to get a loan and pay off your bills. Or you can fix the house up, move out to a better house, rent that house, and now that is income for your family. So don't let nobody make you feel bad because you may be in a house like that right now. Because chances are down the road, if you keep working hard, you will be in the house that she say that you in a provider's house. Everybody don't go straight to a provider house. I remember when I first got um, moved to Texas, and me and my husband at the time, we started from ground zero all over again. We was in an apartment, but we had goals and dreams. And we said, hey, I'm going to make sure that we get out of here within a 5-year plan. I didn't rush it. It wasn't instant gratification. We wanted to save money. We wanted to make sure our credit looked good. We wanted to be able to buy the house that we want. The very first house that we bought at that time was brand new house. Okay, built from the ground up. Nobody had ever lived in it. So you can get there. Just stop looking for instant gratification. All right. And I understand it may not be the best neighborhood or the safest neighborhood, but don't let nobody discourage you because you didn't start out in a mansion. And I know a lot of y'all feel a certain way about it because your parents live in a big house. You grew up in a big house. But remember, when you walk out that door from your parents' home, you starting at ground zero again. That's your parents' money, not yours. So you may have to go back to certain areas. Now, if your parents can help you out a little bit, get you in a better area, that's fine. But we got to stop making people feel bad for circumstances that they're in just because it doesn't fit what our expectations of what something should be. You don't know where those people came from who finally got that home. They could have been homeless under a tree and that house means something to them. So we got to stop this narrative just because a person doesn't fit a description that we think they should fit, that they're not good enough, or that house is not good enough, or that person's not a provider. You don't know what those people are doing behind closed doors. That husband could be in there working a job 60 hours a week to provide for his family. Maybe he has some issues in life where he couldn't find the corporate job, but he's doing what he can to make sure his family eat and whoever he's with got a roof over their head. Stop downplaying other people's lifestyle because it doesn't fit the lifestyle that you think it should fit. But as I said before, that could be the happiest couple on the street living in that house right there. And that mansion she turned into, them people could be in that mansion miserable. That's all I'm saying. Well, let's look at the next story real quick. This one right here kind of broke my heart. This young lady was crying. She was crashing out in her car because she was like, I can't do this anymore. Everybody's at Coachella but me. How is that? I do everything I can and I work hard. Baby girl, you just beginning. You are actually a beautiful young lady. Even with you sitting there crying and the braids in your hair, I can tell you have something about you that is naturally beautiful. Again, instant gratification. You got to stop looking at people's lives through their lenses and look at life through your own lenses. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses because you don't know what kind of bill the Joneses got. Keep up with yourself. I'm going to play this video, but I will say it really broke my heart listening to this lady. I mean, this young lady. But go ahead and listen and we'll talk.
We should not be working like this. I work my ass off and I can't even fucking pay bills, bro. And they always say don't compare yourself to others, but I see people going to Chicago, what the fuck, Coachella, and fucking like buying all types of shit, just pointless fuck you money, and I'm over here can't even fucking pay my fucking rent, bro.
Now, look, I understand exactly what she's saying. She see people of her age group sitting up there at Coachella, buying fancy stuff, and she could barely pay her rent. Now, I don't know what her family dynamics is. I don't know if she has a mom that she can lean on, an auntie, a grandma, or dad. I don't know because she didn't really get that into detail, who could maybe help her out. But it's obvious she's trying to make it on her own out here. She didn't even say if she had children or not. I don't know. But what I can tell this young lady is, and I know she said it in a thing, they keep saying, don't worry, it does get better. This generation is not equipped to handle pressure and stress of everyday life. And it's not their fault. I'm not knocking you, it's just not their fault. I heard a person say that we created a soft life for these children because we wanted to our children to do better than us and live better than we live. But creating a soft life for them and sending them out in the cruel world is hard. It's crazy. It's diabolical because now she's out in the cruel world, and she probably come from a family where she had her own room, cell phone, TV. They gave her car, the whole soft life. Never experienced any real hardship per se or stressful stuff because life is good. I was living at home with my parents, and I think a lot of these young people are experiencing that. Toppled on rent is high as I don't know what. Wages aren't going up, and the country is at a downfall. If you could possibly get back with your family or a family member, or maybe get a roommate, again, we don't know your dynamics, but ma, if this is your child, or dad, if this is your child, love her, get her home, get her some therapy, maybe give her a break, get her out of release, whatever you need to do, bring her back home, let her readjust her finances, her career, whatever it is she's trying to do. Because I can legitimately say this girl looks like she's trying and she is stressed. Now, once again, we don't know her family dynamics. Now, if all else fail, baby, I can tell you some other ways to make money, okay? Okay, I don't know what city you live in, but a lot of people go to OF, and I ain't saying you got to do nothing crazy in OF. If you got some pretty feet, put some go down there and get you a pedicure, put some pretty toenail polish on, do like that lady on Love and Hip Hop Miami, and just take pictures of your feet and post them on OnlyFans. Apparently, they make lots of money doing that. Okay, you ain't got to be doing the crazy stuff, but you could just show somebody your feet and make a few $100s a week because there's some sickos out there. That's all I'm saying. Hey, there's ways you can make money. I'm not laughing at this lady because she seemed very, very down. And honestly, I think people maybe create some kind of GoFundMe for her. Somebody go find her website or her TikTok page or whatever, because I didn't even see if her name was on there. And maybe create a GoFundMe and just get a little money, not even a lot, maybe a couple $1,000s to pay a rent up for a month or two so she can just get a little break, some stress, and maybe go to a nice day out at a concert or out to dinner with her friends or something, because she seemed like she's having it rough. And I hate to see young people go like that. And again, like I say, my hot topics is just for the girlies because I'm seeing girlies all over the place on social media, and we need to get back in line with helping each other. Okay. Now, again, I don't know this young lady's handle. If y'all know her, reach out to her. This is kind of an old video. It's been circling around for a while, but it came to my feed and I felt like, God, I felt everything she said because I know what it's like to start over again. As I said, I know what it's like. It's just this generation is built a little different, and that stress to keep them bills up, to get to go to work every day and missing out on things. For you guys, it means something. For my generation, we didn't care. We was worried about, hey, I got enough money to pay this rent, car note, insurance, buy a little food, and if I can go out to dinner to Chili's on Saturdays, I'm good. If not, I'll have to chalk that up throw some on the grill on the back porch and start all over. We all been through it. My generation, I'm sure, and I know I experienced this myself. And you see your friends and some family members, they going off on trips to here, going to cruises and all that. You're like, golly, what am I doing wrong? I can't get these cruises and these trips. I can't afford none of this. Later on, I found out people was putting crap on layaway. You know what I'm saying? People was charging stuff on credit cards, maxing them out, buying stuff they can't afford. Baby, let me tell you, some of them people coming back from Coachella, if they parents didn't buy them tickets for them and pay for them, they're coming back to their car note behind, they rent behind, not enough money for groceries, calling their cousins or their aunt up to loan them some money because the electricity got about to get cut off. Because young people like that tend to be a little irresponsible. Not all, but some of them do. So if you see them out there at Coachella, start thinking about, well, I wonder how they got them tickets. A lot of people might have just took their whole income tax check and bought them tickets because this is income tax season. So it's not like you're doing something wrong. You just don't know exactly how they was able to do that. And they're not telling you. And I can guarantee you it was either income tax, maxing out credit cards, or a bill to get paid so they can go out there and post on social media, I was there, and make it look like they living the best life. And they struggling just like you. They're just not posting it on social media. You cannot tell me all them people out there at Coachella that's your age didn't come back and ask somebody to loan them some money because they ran short because they spent too much out there at Coachella. So that's all these people are telling you. Don't worry about their life. They're not telling you the truth. That old saying, like I said before, stop trying to keep it with the Joneses. You don't know what their bills are like. All right. And lastly, I'm going to say this before we move on to the next girly. During COVID, a lot of people were sitting at home getting $4,000, $5,000 a month in unemployment, so they didn't work. A lot of them did fake PPP loans and all that stuff, and they was getting $25,000, $30,000. And then some of them were getting, with kids, was getting $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 in food stamps. So life was looking good from 2020 up to about 2022, 2023 when they started cutting all that stuff off. All right. Those same people went all over social media and TikTok and was doing all kind of dances and showing you, I'm in Dubai, I'm in Tulum, I'm in the DR, I'm in Costa Rica. That's where the money was coming from. Okay. Find those same people now and see if they still living that life. They was leasing mansions and taking videos, making you think they lived there. They was renting Lamborghinis. You go rent a Lamborghini right there on Las Vegas Boulevard, taking pictures. Yeah, this is my new car. They wasn't really living that lifestyle. They were showing you stacks of fraudulent money. They got the loans from PPP, went in the bank and maybe drew $10,000 out and stacked it up. I'm rich. I'm getting all this from social. No, they wasn't. They weren't getting none of that. They were lying to you and creating a facade. Because if life was so good now, why is those same people struggling? I mean, then why are they struggling right now? So we want you to do, baby, is we want to give you a virtual hug and tell you to keep going and keep looking for that better position that's going to be less stressful. And I can guarantee you have your faith in God, pray, go to church, and life will get better for you. I promise you it will. You have it in you. You just got to find it and figure it out. And at the end of the day, if you do nothing else, just go get you a therapist that can, or a life coach that can kind of coach you through. Find your passion, find you something you love to do, and you just do it. All right. Other than that, y'all go find that girl, create her some kind of GoFundMe and tell her I said, go get her a pedicure and get her feet on OnlyFans like that lady down there in Miami. Because I know your feet probably prettier than hers. And go and make you some money off some damn toe pictures or feet pictures or something. All right? It ain't that hard. I'm not recommending people go to OnlyFans. I'm just saying if you're going to go and, do something where it ain't going to come back to haunt you later on. Okay? Now, with that being said, we're going to go on to the next girly story. And this is about a lady that went viral about $150, I think she said oil change on her car. All right, now this lady here has a fiance that offered her $100 for a $150 oil change. And apparently she felt that was wrong. But y'all listen up, and I'm gonna give you my commentary after this because this is foolishness here. Like I said, this is a girly edition. Y'all out here trying to find husbands and lock people down. And the way y'all going about it is just all wrong. But let me just go ahead and play.
They only give you correct a gesture. So if you're with someone, you going to get an oil change. Oil change is $150. They only give you $100. You didn't ask for the money. You didn't ask for it. But they gave you a half gesture. So you,
Did you tell him how much these things cost?
yeah, if he'll ask, he'll be like, hey, how much is the oil change?
And you'll say 150 and he'll send you 100.
Yeah.
Now that's crazy.
Are you married?
About to be.
So what's the problem? You already signed up.
They only give.
Now, here's my problem with this right here. And I know some of you women gonna say, well, he should just gave her the whole 150. He broke, whatever, and all of this. That's her man. He should help for her. He should provide for her. Let me say this and hear me clearly. I'm not saying the man shouldn't have helped her, but what she said to us is very clear. She said, what should I do about a half gesture? The man is her fiance. They're going to be married. That means you're going to get all 100% of him at some point. So why do you care if he only gave you $100 out of the 150 it costs for the oil change? Maybe that's all he had at the time, because we don't know whether this guy has child support payments. She didn't say if they live together and he has his own bills at his own place. She didn't say what kind of job he had. Maybe we don't know what's going on with him. But what we do know is the gesture. He said, how much is it? She said, I'm going to get my oil change. He said, how much is it? She said, 150. He threw her $100, thinking he was doing something good. Sis, that saved you $100. You can go get a pedicure or a manicure or something with that. It's only $50. You cut that man deep and went on this spotlight. And again, shout out to Tonight Conversation. This is their video. Go to their YouTube channel. They come up in my feed a lot. I don't really watch the whole YouTubes all the time, but because to me, well, that's another story. But they do have some interesting people who come up to the microphone with some crazy questions. And I'm like, where are we at in this dating pool, lady? I need to know, because most of the time it's women that's coming up there. I done seen women come up there who are the side chick trying to justify it, to women coming up there talking about their husband slept with their cousin and should they stay with him. It's just crazy what people tolerate these days. However, getting back to this lady, the man thought he did a gesture. Now, if you know men, like some of us aunties who've been around a while understand men, he probably felt good that the fact that he could give his girl $100 to help her offset the cost of the oil change. This is the lady he's going to marry. So when y'all in the same house under the same roof, he's going to give you everything he got. And instead of you saying, thank you, I appreciate you trying to help me out a little bit, or lifting some of the load off of me, you call it a half gesture. See, that's when you cut him deep and you're trying to question his manhood. The man doesn't like him. He makes him feel bad. So the next time you need something, he may not give you anything like, you ain't like what I did last time. Why should I help you out now? You got it, sis. Go on. You big money grip, pay for your own oil change. That's the mentality you will get going forward by not being appreciative. I'm sure if the man could have gave you the 150 at the time, then he would have. Because he asked you to marry him. You said you engaged. He is not going to marry you if he doesn't care enough about you to make sure you're good. But maybe in that moment, in that time, all he could give you was $100. And you just took that and crapped on it in front of a whole audience. Now, mind you, this lady is standing in front of an audience. This video is viral. So at some point, somebody he knows is going to know her and say, hey, your girl over here on the Tonight Conversation, talking crap about you, only giving her $100. Just like the guy said on the stage, y'all engaged. Well, you're already in it now. His family may see it, and I don't know the dynamics. This is all hypothetical. Your family may see it. His boys may come at him like, man, she trying to act like you broke, dude. You only gave her $100 and 150. What's up with that? He may get ate up for that, especially if somebody sees you and tell him about it. It may even cost y'all engagement. It's definitely going to cause a discussion in your house. I can guarantee you that. Hopefully he don't leave you for it, but you got to understand men ego are more fragile than you think they are. And if they're trying to help you out, just be appreciative and say, thank you, I appreciate it. Or if you didn't need to say, that's all right, babe, you keep it. You can say that later on and we can go out to eat lunch or dinner with that. Do something like that. But don't just get on this platform and say, it was a gesture, it just wasn't enough. Good Lord. And if you felt it wasn't enough, you should have told him, not the world. Because if he finding this out in front of the world as we're finding it out, that's going to make him even more pissed. I hope before you brought this conversation up that you talked to him about it. Y'all be really talking your way out of good relationships and good men. I know I hear, oh, ain't no good black man, ain't no good sisters and all that crap. But sometimes they right in front of you and you talk your way right out of it. I hope y'all got married or still got your wedding going on. And I hope y'all still together. And remember, if you don't remember nothing else, sis, don't ever disrespect or challenge your man's manhood in front of a crowd of people like that and he not know about it. Because that will cut him deep. Just be appreciative. And like I said, if it wasn't enough, you should have that conversation with him. You know, I would have easily said, "No, babe, I got this. You keep that $100 and we can go out to dinner this weekend or we can go catch a movie or something. You could have did that. I got it. Don't worry about it." You cutting this man deep and challenging his manhood over $50. And this is what I be talking about. Relationships have gotten so transactional in America because it's only $50. It's not that deep. But then you're the same generation of women that would say, well, you gotta go 50-50. He pay half, I pay half, and stuff like that. Well, if he was paying half, then it would only been 75. So he paid more than half. Be happy about that. Ladies, I'm just saying, this is what you don't do. The man has given you a ring. He's engaged to you. You want the husband. I want the husband in the house and the kids. Well, you about to get that, and you about to jack it up because he didn't give you $50 more. If you wanted $50 more, you should have asked him, "Baby, I mean, you ain't got the whole 150 or something." Don't just take it and then call it a half gesture, and you're not happy with it at the time, but you ain't telling him, but you're telling some strangers on stage. That's a nice conversation. And for them, it's good talking points because that's what they do. They run a podcast. They get people to come up there. I'm not knocking them. Shout out to Tonight Conversation. They've been around for a long time. You know, I know they didn't have their ups and downs with people leaving and coming to the show and back, whatever. But for at the end of the day, it's a great podcast. Okay. I always shout out to my people, whether I agree or disagree, whatever. If you one of my peoples, I'm gonna give you shout outs. But lady, and anybody else who come across this video, hear me and hear me good. This ain't it. That's all I'm saying. And last but not least, we're going to sum this all the way up of what happens when y'all keep behaving in this type of manner. Now, right here is this lady, Ashlee Jenae. Everybody knows the deal. I'm not going to get deep into her story. I'm not going to deep dive into it. I'm not going to talk about the details of it because everybody has already talked about it. But what I will use her story is an example. Just like the young lady who was telling y'all, if you in this house and not this house, you were a loser, you were a provider. If your boyfriend only gave you 150 out of $100 out of the 150 for oil change, that's a half gesture. See, they got y'all making relationships transactional. They got y'all chasing the money. And that's what this lady did. This young lady. She went after somebody who was rich, more of a, and she probably fell in love with him. They've been together for a year. I'm assuming maybe she really cared deeply about him, but I can guarantee you the lifestyle that he was able to provide for her was basically what she was looking at. She had all her Instagram photos on private jets, sitting front row at the games and all of that, living her best life in Tanzania, feeding giraffes and big old bouquet of happy birthdays and will you marry me? The soft life. She even put in her comments, the soft life and all of that. See, this is what these ladies are training y'all to do. But look what happened to her. And this is what I'm talking about. Just because you live in this house that's a provider and not this house that's a loser, she was in a provider house. And where does she end up at? I'm just saying. Okay. He probably would have gave her $150 instead of 100. But where does she end up at? And the young lady that's in the car saying, why is life so hard? She had a soft life. And where is she at? She's no longer with us today. Okay. So we got to stop looking at transactional financial things when we dating. And I'm not saying date broke people. I get it. What I'm saying is the first thing you got to understand when you're dating a person is character. I don't care if he's a billionaire. If his character ain't right, you got to move on. Stop looking at I can get a Chanel bag. I can live in a big mansion. I can fly on private jets. I can go to Coachella. This is a provider home. But if he ain't got no character, you may end up like this. And this is the worst case scenario. You may not end up like that, but you could be mistreated, abused physically. He can leave you with nothing because if you ain't married to him, technically, you ain't tied. He don't have to give you nothing. Ask Amy Lucci. I mean, she married that man for less than a year, didn't have no kids. She not getting nothing out of that marriage. Wasn't nothing. She wasn't there long enough to put anything in. It was a short-term marriage. Guaranteed the judge ain't giving her nothing. That's all I'm saying. We got to be careful what we wish for and what we putting out here to these young ladies. And this ain't even about what color he is or anything. It's just about he had the status that you guys are constantly telling women to go look for, and it still didn't end up right. So just be happy with whoever you find. Maybe y'all can build together. You don't always have to go after the guy who already have it. Find somebody who's trying to get it or halfway there. Y'all meet in the middle and build it together. Because it doesn't always have a happy ending because he's a provider. Doesn't always have a happy ending because I can go on a private jet and live a soft life and he can buy me tickets to Coachella. Doesn't have to be a happy ending because he got $150 to pay for my oil change. Every last one of those disgusting individuals as part of the Epstein files were multimillionaires. And look what they was doing. Character, morals, values, spirituality. What's their family background? How do they treat their children? How do they treat their ex-girlfriends and ex-wives? How do they treat their mom and their dad? That's what you should be looking for. How do they act under pressure? How do they act when they're angry? Do they get loud? Do they throw stuff? Do they do excessive alcohol and drugs? You need to be finding all that out first before you just looking at, oh, he got a bank account, he must be a good person. That don't mean crap. There's plenty of crazy millionaires and billionaires in this world right now. Look at Elon Musk. I'm just saying. May this young lady rest in peace. And the sad part about her whole story is she has family members, mom and dad, who loves her. And their child is thousands and thousands of 10,000 plus miles away from them, in a morgue in a foreign country where they're getting a phone call and they can't get to her. They can't hug on her. They can't love her. They can't whisper something in her ear. They can't give her any advice anymore because she was following the bag per se, even though they said she was in love, whatever. Everybody warned her. You know the deal. Y'all can look at the other content creators who said that. And then she goes on her social media account and they, the internet detectives find a social media account where she's saying all this nasty stuff about people of color, particularly men. And her family has to bear the brunt of that because they can't even mourn, get their baby back home, put her to rest, and go through whatever process they need to go to without turning on something and somebody's talking bad about their child because of what she posts. Because once you leave here, you can't go and delete your social media accounts, and the internet detectives go straight on those sites. And I'm not just saying her. There's other people who had the same situation. You remember the young African American black guy in, I forget, Georgia or somewhere, where he got unalived by his white girlfriend whose father was the chief of police or something to that effect. You remember the young guy in Miami where the lady swore the guy was beating on her, come to find out she stabbed him or something in the kitchen. So this is ongoing on both sides, men and women. And then the first thing they do is they go to the social media bandits, detectives go to their social media sites, and then they see these messages about, I hate this person color. But the family is bearing a burden because they're trying to raise money sometimes for the funeral or get GoFundMe account to go pick the person up or help with the lawyers. And people say, I ain't donating them. They was with their choice. That's what happens. So the family is bearing the burden of her decisions. And I feel bad for them because I know they had nothing to do with it. They didn't write the post, but now they got to turn on TV and internet and social media and hear stuff about their child every day, at least for the next month or so until this dies down. That's the sad part. And two things that I figured out that I knew this man was guilty. One was, of course, we all know he waited 11 hours to tell her mom. But if you this multimillionaire, when you was at the hospital, you should have been with this girl, according to y'all took her to the hospital when you found her. You should have been on the phone immediately to the parents, not 11 hours later. You should be on the phone immediately. And two, if you were innocent, you should have told the people there, hey, do what y'all got to do to investigate. I need to get with her mother, make arrangements to get this body back because it costs, quote, $50,000. That's a GoFundMe I think they had. Why didn't you come out your pocket immediately break out that black Amex card, charge that crap, and get that girl home. If you truly loved her and that was your fiance, it shouldn't even be a cost measure for the family. You should have been getting her back to her remains back there and maybe stayed your butt in Tanzania until the investigation was over, or hell, pay for her family to come back later. Pay for the autopsy, whatever needs to be done to get her back. All that should have came out of his pocket. He didn't volunteer no information, no money. Of course, you're going to be the number one suspect. You dingbat. Hell, anybody watch CSI 48 or the first 48 would know that. But I digress. Okay. And that is my hot topics on the girlies right now. We got to do better, young ladies. I'm not even going to pull up no prom pictures because I done seen some absolutely gorgeous prom pictures. And then I see some prom pictures like, Ma, you let your child leave the house looking like that? And some people seem to think it was okay. So are we raising princesses or are we raising the next naked pole technician? I don't know, whatever you call them nowadays. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And some people went way out of the way for the prom. I'm like, God, if you spending this much for a prom, what's the wedding gonna cost? Okay. I don't know. But I will say this, ladies, go with your own intuition. Stop following trends on social media. Meet people where they at. Get to know them first. And it's okay not to date a broke dude. I get what you're saying. Nobody, if you don't want to date the guy who's making, $10 an hour, I understand that. If you find a guy that's making a certain amount of money, that's great. You found your king, your princess, your provider, whatever you want to call him. But make sure that he is exactly who he say he is. Do the research. Talk to previous girlfriends if you need be, ex-wives. Find out, do a background check. See if you ever been arrested for domestic violence, assault, whatever. Do that kind of stuff first. Check his financial. I don't care if you got to hire a private detective. Make sure his money is real. Because they're saying this guy's allegedly having money problems. There's a lot of scammers out here too. We got to do better, girlies. That's all I'm saying. We got to do better. And we got to stop focusing on transactional relationships and start focusing on real relationships. If not, a lot of people are going to be single for a long time. Y'all got to get past this social media type, I should be with a guy that makes this, and this. All. It ain't but a certain percentage of men that meet that criteria in this country. There's only a certain percentage of men who meet that criteria that is single. And there's only a certain percentage of men that meet that criteria that you're going to meet. I ain't saying lower your standards. All I'm saying is be reasonable and be realistic and stop living in the world of delusion. Because some of y'all I done seen talking about, I need a man to make $250,000 and you look like you live in a Section 8 house. Who coming over there with your 3 kids by Pookie and Ray Ray that make $250,000 in your Section 8 apartment to take you off in a chariot like you Cinderella? Girl, please. I'm just saying. And with that being said, this is Gen X Nation. This is a Hot Topics Girly edition. I hope y'all learned something from this. And just at the end of the day, just be a good person, be a better person, and treat people really the way you want to be treated. And that's all it's really about. All right. And I'm going to go over here and watch these bells from Birmingham and these bells from Mississippi and find out what's going on. We don't know if Glendale going to get a job as a manager or not. I hear Tamber about to go in on some people. And Stormy, surprisingly, may change it up just a little bit. And we might actually see the real Stormy. All right. And with that being said, you guys go and have a great rest of your day. And this is Gen X Nation, Hot Top Girlies edition. Peace. And I'm out.